Well, I don't know, resituate myself. Hey, YouTube and Twitch. It's me. Long time no see. We're back after a short break in the woods, playing a vintage challenge on 8:15. The current vintage metagame looks something like this. 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 It looks like this. It looks like combo is a whole lot of combo. So we're trying a little, not a little brew. It's a big brew. It's a pile. We had a brew pile today. The idea is we're playing Thalia's Spirits, Lavinia, off of Cavern of Souls, and the current iterations of Doomsday and PO don't play very many bounce spells and ways to interact with permanent based hate. So we're trying to stop our opponent from comboing us with the prelates and the humans, and also a pile of blue cards for Force of Will. And then typically these decks can't really beat shops, have a hard time with Dredge, other creature-based decks. Like obviously Eldrazi would kick the shit out of us, so we're throwing in the backdoor plan of Tinker Blightsteel for those matchups. Yeah, that's kind of the whole idea. I think we can see how it plays out in game, but I have like a bunch of, it's basically a Hate Bears deck. I have Thalia, I have Narset and Karn as more like permanent based hate cards. Obviously I can't Cavern those out, but Chalice. I'm not sure if this Trinisphere is supposed to be in the main or not. And then I do get up to like 19-ish blue cards, so you can pretty reasonably cast your Force of Wills. And we got a lot of mana to pay for the taxes, so even though we have a Thalia, which is not very synergistic with Force of Will, you can still kind of make it work. We've only played a couple games with this in leagues. Haven't lost a game yet, but I've also played against combo and had three Lotus draws, so that certainly helps. Let's just jump right in. So this is going to be round 1 of the Vintage Challenge. We're currently versus Theo, which is going to be 4-color Breach, so let's begin. This hand has a Force, which seems great, as well as a turn 2 Thalia, so I'm pretty down. A reasonable hand. If we draw any of our 8 or 9 artifacts, then we can Tinker as well. I think I'm okay with this. It's not the best hand, but it's fine. There's not very many. I don't even think the cards in this deck are castable, Cho. That's currently the issue that I think we're having. Oh, if they're not on Breach? I mean, I think I'm still keeping this hand regardless, right? It's got Force of Wills, it's got Permanent-Based Disruption, and it also has Tinker Blightsteel, so any kind of acceleration puts us closer to Karn. That's funny, Tuesday. Is it Punisher? Are you talking about Punisher? Because I did look at Punisher's list when making this deck. Always go see what people have done before you, and see if you can't glean anything from it. Unfortunately, we do not have the turn 1 Lavinia to stop this Ruby. Oh, I really wish we had the turn 1 Lavinia to stop the Ruby Lotus, but it's really hard to cast Lavinia on turn 1, despite what anyone might tell you. So is this just going to be rug stuff? Okay, you got a Merchant Scroll. I assume this is an Ancestral. On our upkeep, there's probably an Ancestral coming. I believe I'm just going to force it pitching Force. Huh. Well, now I kind of want to just slam Lavinia. Hopefully, I fixed the sizing thing with Windows and 1440p, so hopefully these cards in my hand are a little bit bigger and easier for you to... Come on, really? Oh, that's rough. Okay. I'm gonna hold this Probe as a blue card. I think Daze is actually really good right now. It's nice to have a little bit of extra interaction to keep people on their toes. I think they have Pyroblast here as well. I just don't think this is like a reasonable force. It's the only way it makes a lot of sense. Lavinia is like not even that good, so I think you're overreacting like everybody else who has ever overreacted. Like, it's a dumb card, right? Don't get me wrong. It should be symmetrical, but... Oh, what do we do? If I force this, and they Pyroblast back, and then they go to 6 cards, we're down to 3 cards. I'm just gonna let this happen. I don't really think we're in a good position here. If we had a Cavern, we might have been in a good position, but we just didn't have a Cavern, so... If we are to draw an artifact mana next turn, we do have Tinker with Force backup. I just don't think that's going to be good enough. There's a Jet in this deck. Is it like 5-color Breach? Because you can kind of play like a Deathray Shaman Wrenn 6 Breach deck. There's a Japanese player who does that a lot. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what they're up to. Yo, what up, Joe? Well, I tried to type something in, but it didn't happen. No land drop. That's kind of interesting, right? So they Ancestraled and they only hit a Jet, but no lands. Sure, but like, this card is just impossible to cast. It's really stupid. If this was 1 in a white or 1 in a blue, that'd be real dumb. I hate Green Force. I think UwU is like a very reasonable card. I hate playing against UwU, but I think UwU is a reasonable card. I don't think Green Force is properly costed. Like, Forces, I feel like they should be 2 cards for 1, because you're paying 0 mana. But Green Force is 2 cards for 2. So I don't really like that very much. It feels like just a complete blowout. I think the idea of Lavinia is the more problematic than the card Lavinia itself. I drew another Lavinia. It's a little late for that. But, I mean, I'm going to jam another one, I think. I assume this gets Pyroblasted. I just feel like that the Green Force shouldn't be card parity for being 0 mana, right? That's my biggest problem with it. Okay, that's fine. I am not very optimistic about this game. We're pretty far behind. Opponent has about infinite card. Are they playing Oath? I don't remember the 4-color lists playing Jet. Unless it's just 4-color control, I guess. I don't remember. The Oath lists play Daze? It's like 4-color control, 4-color Breach, or maybe Oath still. Still not really sure. Obviously, it's kind of silly if we play a Lavinia into Oath, but... it's really rough because it's going to be hard to tinker into a Blightsteel against possible Dak Fade-ins, but... I feel like I'm pretty much on the probe plan now. I kind of want to hit land drops, and I'm probably going to play the Thalia. Like, I kind of need a land drop to play the Thalia so I can have Force up. Alright, let's probe. Let's see what they're doing. Okay, so it is... Okay, so it's a bunch of Flusterstorms. So it's Wrenn 6, Cruise, and a bunch of Flusterstorms. It's certainly going to make my Tinker life a lot harder. Interesting. They can't Cruise with Lavinia in play, though, so that's really good. So it's kind of just Flusters and Wrenn 6 right now. We drew the Gyre Reach Sanitarium. Oh boy. So what do we want to do? I do think I'm just gonna play Thalia plus hold up Force. It's gonna obviously put our Karn even farther away. There's a lot of dis-synergies. Dis-synergies? Is that the word? I mean, Force of Will is kind of useless though, right? That they have double Flusterstorm. So there's almost no chance our Force is ever gonna be good. Which is why I'm not really on this Tinker life anymore either, because it's just going to be incredibly hard to ever cast a Tinker through double Fluster, so. The cool part is this Lavinia is in play and resolved, so that stops the cruise, which is the biggest deal, I think. I guess the problem here is if a opponent just plays Wrenn 6, they shoot the Thalia, but the Wrenn 6 does cost... I guess we can get one of the Flusters out of their hand, and then if we draw... So... what this does is yes, the Thalia does die to the Wrenn 6, but we probably force the Wrenn 6. They hit another blue land. Oh, and we knew they had a blue land. So maybe this doesn't do anything and is just bad. Well, this actually just solves the Wrenn 6 problem though, right? Like it kills my Thalia and then I just kill the Wrenn 6. So is that bad for us? I think this is okay. I just these blue cards are really bad in my hand because of the double Fluster. If it was one Fluster, then we could start like looking to maybe like force there and maybe untap and Tinker or something, but that's a good draw. That's an insane draw, right? Because they just actually have no way to counter a Karn right now. Oh, what is this? They drew... What is this? What did they draw? They drew a Snapcaster Mage? Wow, that's a nuts draw. That's an insane draw. That's so busted. That's the single best draw. I didn't even know they played Snapcaster Mage. So they have Ancestral, double Fluster, as well as kill my Lavinia, untapping Cruise. Holy shit. Really? That was their draw for the turn, right? Because we know their whole hand. Wow. That's kind of nuts. It's not really Ambush Viper when it's flashing back Ancestral. I can't even double force. I have no way to play around this in any capacity. Okay, cool. Would forcing back on the Wrenn, they would have just flustered and it wouldn't have mattered? No. No. I didn't think it mattered, so I didn't do anything about it. Yeah, I can't do anything here. This is just really bad for me. I think we were actually going to be like extremely far ahead. But then they drew the Snapcaster Mage, and now we're probably have no chance. Because playing this Karn here when the opponent had Lotus double Moxen was like really good. Obviously we can't Tinker because they have double Fluster. We still have Karn, which is fine. They have the ability to just cast this Cruise, even if we don't kill. Leading with Karn there would have been very good. I just didn't think that made sense, right? I didn't think leading with Karn made a lot of sense. That was my problem with it. But maybe it did. Oh, I wish I had a... I don't have a... Oh, I do have a Tormod's Crypt, so I could crypt away their Treasure Cruise here. I guess that's pretty good. Let's do that. I thought I didn't include Tormod's Crypt for a second. Watch them draw the dig through time. Alright, so we have an active Karn. They have 3 mana, we have 4 mana, but they do have a, obviously they have another Misty in their hand, so they have 4 mana plus Wrenn 6. They didn't play the Misty for some reason and instead played the Delta. That's good for us, just more information. 4 color control. So, what's bad? Creatures here are really bad for us. I kind of want them to tap out. I know they probably won't. But if they could tap out so we could, like, tinker them or something. Oh, well, I guess we won't be tinkering them. Well, wait. So if I force here, and then they fluster back, and then we Karn for a needle on Dak and tinker a Blightsteel, and hope it works. Seems kind of risky. But I don't guess, does this really get any better for us? I guess they could just take our Sapphire with the deck. Then I don't even need to needle the deck, I just need to draw a... Well, they could draw Time Walk, I guess. I think all roads lead to tap them out here. I guess they could draw their own Force of Will. Yeah, alright, whatever. I already showed it, so I'm just gonna do it. We're running out of things to do here, so... I'm kind of hoping that they plus on the deck, and then... Because they want to try to get to Treasure Cruise, and then they don't have a Force of Will, and we can just go Tinker Blightsteel, play a Pithing Needle on deck, and hope that works, I guess. You're right in that manner, but obviously taking our artifact is good. I guess they don't know what's in our deck. It's hard for them to know what we're doing. All they've seen is Lavinia's, Thalia's, Gaia Reach, Sanitariums, and Karn. So they pitched their other Cluster Storm and a Breach. So they are playing 4-color Breach control. Wonderful. This deck, I despise this deck. It's just like, it's like a 4-color Wasteland Breach control deck. I hate it so much. Alright, so what is the order we do this in? Is there like a way that we can do this better? I guess we're gonna get wrecked by Daze no matter what. I guess we'd rather our Tinker get wrecked by Daze, because if our Needle gets wrecked by Daze, then we just die to our own Blightsteel. I don't think I have to cage first. I appreciate that, but... Yeah, I'm just gonna go for Pithing Needle on the Stack Faden. And then I guess it's hard for them to Breach combo me through a Karn. And then I'm gonna just tinker this Sapphire. Does this resolve? It resolved. Alright, I have a Blightsteel Colossus. Do your best. So they can free their 2 mana sources with their Wrenn 6 here, and if they have another Underworld Breach, maybe they can kill us, but we ran out of options here. We just kind of had to shove. All in, baby. So how far are they from cruising? They're currently 1 mana short of cruising with all their mana. I don't think it's game, Joe. Like, there's a lot of ways this can go very badly, right? So if opponent Wrenn 6s and shoots the Karn, any target, they then free up a ton of mana. Any kind of just like cantrips into Cruise, into Time Walk, Breach combo, artifact removal on Pithing Needle to steal my lights. Like, there's a ton of ways we die here, for sure. But we don't have any choice. Yeah, just, like almost anything, really. Alright, so they shot my Karn. That was the first thing we thought they were going to do. Oko, I don't think they're on an Oko. They could easily be on an Oko, though. Preordain's obviously mana neutral in terms of casting Treasure Cruise. Yeah, we have no other options. They have lots of ways that we can die, but we just put the big robot in play and said, fuck it. The Snapcaster draw was the pivotal point in this game. Because I think without the Snapcaster draw, we would have pulled extremely far ahead. Mana Gorger Hydra. Oh, so they're playing that list. Okay. Well, now I know what the list is. That's good. Let me just pull up the list. So they don't have an Oko. They don't have artifact removal. They have 2 more breaches. They drew both of their flusters. We lost our Karn, so we're not really protected against breach anymore. All right, the good news is they don't actually have a lot of... They actually, like, can't get rid of this. So that we still have a Blightsteel. The bad news is they just drew 3 cards. And they're probably... I guess this Dahlia might be good enough against Breach. Nah, it's not really good enough against... I mean, they don't have a lot of cards in the yard. It could be good enough against Breach combo. Yeah, from what I've seen in this list, I believe they're only out... They just lost Lotus. Oh, they did lose Lotus. You're totally right. Man, Tormod's Crypt. All right, so they're at 9. I'm going to jam this even though it doesn't do anything. I guess. I don't really think that I would want to do any of the other things, so whatever. I'll just play this. Doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Maybe it'll draw Forcible for no reason. It doesn't save us anything because it just dies to Wrenn. I guess it saves us technically 1 life. You're totally right. All right, so this just drew a Forcible for no reason. So, oh, no. They have a Forcible, though. All right. Opponent, try to breach us. Because I'm looking at... Yeah, they have to breach us with a Petal, right? I guess that's pretty easy. So if they have breach and a way to find Petal freeze, then we just die. They found a Time Walk, which is insane, obviously. I assume we lose here. Opponent just gets to freeform Xerox us. And it's just kind of the most powerful thing you can do in Vintage, so. But they have another Hydra in their deck as well. They also have a second... They also have Mystic Sanctuary here, so they can Sanctuary back the Time Walk if they want. But I think you would rather Sanctuary back Cruise, I would assume, because you have to use your Narset to Time Walk. I don't really know if that's what you want. Oh, never mind. We're just dead. I don't really understand. Oh, they replayed their Hydra from the yard. Okay, that makes sense. So they're gonna try to Time Walk Hydra. Oh, they have a freeze as well. Certainly bad for us. The good thing is there's no Lotus in their deck. They hit another Mana Gorger Hydra. They need to find Petal, but they could cast another freeze. They have Emeralds, so they could cast 2 freezes here and mill their deck out, but then they would die, right? So I don't think they can mill us out. Oh, let's just see what happens. We're at 45. Oh yeah, just multiple walks. Well, they need... It has to be a couple walks, though. Their list does play Petal. I know what their list is. You have to play Petal and Lotus in your Breach deck. So this should just... Okay, they're going to Vamp. What are they going to Vamp for? Just another Breach? That should be lethal. If they Vamp for another Breach... I know they're streaming. I retweeted them streaming the other day. That's not technically enough with Hydra. Like, they have to vamp for... So they just drew the card they vamped for. I feel like if they just vamped for another Underworld Breach so they can walk again, that would be good enough. Oh wait, they've already cast 2 walks this turn? Have they already cast 2 walks? I don't remember. I think we're dead. Unfortunately, Xerox is pretty ridiculous at that point. They can gush too, yeah. Yeah, okay. So we're dead to time walks. Alright, I think we played how we were supposed to play, and we just got unlucky with the Snapcaster draw from the opponent. Like, they have 1 Snapcaster in their deck, if at all, so... Just 1 Snapcaster, they just ripped off the top on us, so it happens. I actually think we were in pretty good shape. Alright. 4-color breach control. And 2 Hydras in the main, up to 1 more in the board. The Hydra in the main definitely saved them there. I was talking about this deck with the creator, and I was not convinced that the Hydras were supposed to be in the main, but they were certainly good there. As for us, I'm not really sure we're changing very much. Our deck is, like, pretty bad against Wrenn 6, obviously. But I don't really think we're going to be able to do anything about that. We might just want, like, the Trinisphere on the play. Might just want the Trinisphere in the main, to be perfectly honest. This deck, no Wastelands in this deck. It's just a strip mine. I guess that makes sense. I don't know why my stream is so delayed. It's not supposed to be delayed at all, but it always is. Maybe we just, like, cut 1 Spirit because it's so bad against Wrenn 6. There's only 2 Wrenn 6 in their deck, and we can always, like, Meddling Mage on 2 or Prelate on... Like, Prelate on 2 should be good against them. Let me just bring this over here. Prelate on 2 is very good against them. Obviously, they're going to bring in their Lightning Bolt, and but they have, like, 2 of their removal spells are a Braid. So, I think Prelate on 2 is actually kind of good here. Alright, let's try again. Obviously, like, Lightsteel is actually pretty good against their deck because they only have 1 Dak Faded. This deck, I think, typically would play 2 Dak Faded, but you have not very many slots to fit all the things you're trying to do, so... What time does TSM play today, by the way? Is it 4? I want to watch that. It is 4. So, overall... Hey, thanks, Diesel. Overall, I think we were pretty happy with how that game 1 went. We had, like... I don't really think we want... Oh, on the draw? I don't know. I don't really actually want to play more than 1 answer. That's a hand. That is a hand. Okay, I mean, we are keeping this. How are we sequencing this? We don't have enough to go Thalia plus Chalice on 1. I want a Chalice on 1, though. So maybe what we do is we just... Maybe we just... Well, if we play a Thalia on turn 1 off of Cavern, and we also give ourselves the ability to draw a blue card for Force... So, could it be like... Emerald, Ruby, Thalia, Lotus, pass? No, I'm trying to... What I'm trying to do, chat, is play my Thalia first. No, you're still definitely chalicing on... Well, they have a Braid and Ancient Grudge. Oh, sorry. I'm talking about Chalice on 2. Sorry. I'm sorry, I confused chat. I'm talking about Chalice on 2, which is 4 mana. I could obviously Thalia and Chalice on 1. Which I think I should do. So I'm gonna go Emerald, Ruby, Thalia, Lotus, Chalice. Sorry, I messed up how I was vocalizing my thoughts. I was thinking about how to cast Chalice on 2. When I don't really need it, I should really just cast it on 1. Please excuse me. Right, so if I play Emerald, Ruby, Thalia, then my Lotus costs 1 and my Chalice costs 3. And that's fine. I just don't know if this is good enough is my problem here. I hope it's good enough, but I'm scared it's not. Obviously, if we draw a blue card, we do have Force, which is nice. So this Chalice was uncounterable because we had a Thalia, and that's the whole idea behind this line, is that we play an uncounterable Thalia, which makes our Chalice uncounterable. This does let them use artifact mana. They only have 6 artifact mana in their deck. A full suite of Moxen. Sorry, not a full suite of Moxen. Pearl-less Moxen plus Petal and Lotus. That's an interesting point, Cho. Well, I certainly don't have blue and white mana yet, so I'll just leave this in hand as a blue card for Force, which we'll probably need if they play a Wrenn in 6, obviously. Spirit would be a horrible draw right now, obviously, too. They drew Strip Mine Lotus, huh? I wish I could just cast my Lavinia. I'm gonna get Strip Mine though, probably. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I'm so happy for you. Alright, well, I have another blue card now. But now I'm 2 mana away from this Lavinia. This Lavinia would have been so good to slam there. Oh, this is Lightning Bolt. Wait, this is a Braid. It has to be a Braid. Alright, maybe they have Lightning Bolt and they, or they just have some kind of backup spell here? It's a Braid. On Thalia. They must have their own Force of Will. I've got nothing going on for me here. I take a fetch land. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. I'm just gonna die to a Wrenn in 6 though, right? Like, that was the whole thing I was worried about with this hand. Here come the Wrenn in 6, and I just can't win because they strip mine lock me. They can't Ancestral because of Chalice. I'm just getting... Oh, I'm getting Mana Gorgered and dying too? Alright, well... It's a good card if I wasn't 2 mana away. That Strip Mine is so nuts. They only have one, like, they just seem to be drawing their brutal one-ofs. I really wish we had just had a Lavinia and play this whole game, obviously. Merchant Scroll. What do you even get? Treasure Cruise? We've already used our Lotus. I think we're just gonna die. They just get Gush. Okay. I can't. Chalice is on 1, guys. I feel like this Mana Gorger Hydra is gonna get bigger than my Blightsteel. I mean, I'm getting close to a Blightsteel. I guess I can chump with my Thalia to slam a Blightsteel. But I'm just like, I just don't see that going well for me, but... I have a Misdirection, I guess. I just think this thing is going to be bigger than my Blightsteel. I guess my Blightsteel is indestructible. This game is so sad. This game is so sad. Strip Mine Lotus. Gush is not worth misdirectioning. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Gush is definitely not worth misdirectioning. All right, the Pyroblast is dead. So I'm just supposed to block here, right? I think I'm just supposed to block. What am I sacking? I'm not sacking the Chalice, right? Can't be. Alright, I got a Blightsteel. As long as I don't get dacked. They only have 1 dack in their deck, and they haven't been able to play, like, draw spells. Besides the 1 Gush. If they can't get this Hydra bigger than a 11/11... I shouldn't die to Breach. I have a Misdirection. I guess this makes it bigger than a... Oh, I guess I do just die to Breach. This Chalice on 1 looks horrible. Oh, they just had a Brain Freeze in their hand? Wow. Opponent just drew only the nuts, huh? They didn't even scroll for it. This Chalice on 1 was just so bad. There's a reason I was trying to Chalice on 2. Jacob, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, don't bring that shit up, Persia. I'm dead. I'm just thinking about if I had Chalice on 2. I have to pass the turn. I should have Chalice on too. I think I got caught up and chose one argument, but I guess so if I cast, I'm dead. I'm gonna just concede. If I cast, I'm trying to figure if I fucked up here. It's like pretty hard to say that I fucked up when they're like a 4 preordained deck. Here. It's like pretty hard to say that I fucked up when they're like a 4 preordained. As for us, I'm not really hand. So I have to go. Okay, I mean Mox, Thalia, Lotus, pass. Mox, Thalia, Lotus. No, I wouldn't Thalia. I wouldn't Chalice on 0 here. That's the lowest value play. Like they play 6 artifacts. Mox. If I just played Chalice on 2 on turn 2. That was what I was originally thinking about. Like, they can't play any 1-drop. The problem with that line is they can play, like, land, pass, and hold up Force of Will. But I can also draw into a blue card here. Do I draw into a blue card? I think my original instinct might have been correct, and I got caught up in... get strip mine, though, probably. Yeah. I think I like my original line. You probably shouldn't do that. I think I liked what I originally had, and I've made a mistake in not just going for on 2.
Round starting, round 1. We are playing against, I am actually level 1. I believe he is a vintage streamer. Yeah, and he won like a challenge with the PO Bazaar deck a couple weeks ago. Okay, preordained mistake when I was typing it out. Force the Will? Okay, this is part 1 of the puzzle. Luster Storms, I think. Pyroblast is still really... Or we could have strip mined them, that could have... Alright, we're gonna... Great on turn 2. They come here not to... They can Thalia Mox us? Yeah. I mean, then we can... Well, if they Thalia Mox us, we still have lethal on turn 2, because we can abrade off the Lotus that we cast on turn 1. And then we can play Underworld Breach, and then... Oh, I guess we're 1 card short.
This hand's really...
So not exactly a turn 2 kill, but I feel like this is still a solid hand.
I mean, they have to keep it.
With a draw, they can also Thalia Mox us, that's also true. I mean... Jacob, stop watching my stream, focus on your own match. The same thing regardless of whether we... Okay, I think I'm gonna go for it. Oh, I should have played around... Oh wait, they can't cast Bluster, I was gonna say. Okay, so they forced this, which is completely reasonable. Yeah, they had the force there, which is unfortunate. Mana Gorge your Hydra. Let's... Leaving on me. Drive you home
Jake, you
at the
probably
end
just
of the
shouldn't
night.
talk in both chats if you're gonna do that. Like, I know you're not intending to do that, but you really shouldn't do that.